Let's go UW. Jerry Dulac is trying to say Dan Moore Jr. will be starting week 1. What's the point in drafting a tackle round 1?
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree. Shout out to Jerry though, because like I said, he's hearing from people. But what I will say is, let's just see how training camp plays out. It's easy to say any of this stuff right now when we haven't seen any of these dudes put on pads and have to block. It's easy to speculate what a guy can and can't do right now when we haven't seen him put on pads and have to block. Let's just see what it looks like when Fautano is out there, when Broderick is out there, when Dan Moore is out there. I think when you have the players that we have, the players will tell you who's supposed to be starting versus who shouldn't be starting. And I don't think it'll be a hard conversation. So that's why I'm just like, yeah, whatever they might want to say is the beginning lineup, that's a different convo. So yeah, Dan Moore could be listed as the beginning starter. I think Ryan Watson, or not Ryan Watson, might have been Mason McCormick. Yeah, Mason McCormick starting over Sayumalo on one of these little depth charts I seen. I was like, yeah, how we get to this part? Yeah,
that depth chart, whoever's doing that, those people are idiots.
And that was ESPN. And I was like, how we get here? Yeah. So that's the part where I'm just like,
would never do that.
Hey, look, I'm like, bro, we can write what we want to write, man. Yeah, and it's still, Deke, I'm not making this up, bro. I've refreshed this numerous occasions. Please tell me what this says to you, man. Left guard.
Well,
you tell me. And you see me.
That's a bummer because
ESPN
has Devin Bush starting for the Browns. I was hoping that would be true.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing. It's like, bro, these type of players, you put them out on the field, they'll separate themselves, man. Because we have enough talent, we have enough people on that level now where we don't have to say, oh, yeah, you can only play that. You can't play this. It's like, no. Let's go. Let's see what it looks like.
Yeah, maybe they're just giving Dan Moore that veteran nod.
Well,
given that he's been here for 3 years, going on 4 years.
And not only
heading into the offseason at least.
Not only has he been here, he's been the starter for both seasons. Every single game at left tackle. So with that, yeah, you give him the respect of you can compete against him. Now, do we feel the same way we said, Kenny, you can compete against Russ? But Kenny, you get first dibs at it. But you get to compete now. We all felt like, yeah, Russ should still win this. But Kenny, you're here. You're the draft pick. This is technically your team. You get first opportunity. Kenny ran from it, right? Dan Moore, this could be literally the exact same conversation. Hey, Dan. You getting first dibs.
They literally did it last year with Broderick.
Go for it.
Dan still started week 1.
Come on, bro. This your chance. If you feel like you're like that, prove it. You've earned enough here where we feel like you get first dibs because we've actually seen you do this in the league. Whereas whether we talking Broderick, we've seen you play right. We haven't seen you play left. And if it's Fautanu, we're projecting you to be moving to that right side anywho. So that's the part where it's like, yeah, Dan. But this is why I also say, like, people don't like Dan. I get that. But Dan isn't terrible. So in this vein, it's like, yo, if you got 30 starts under your belt at left tackle in the National Football League, you're doing something right. So let Fautanu come in here, or let Broderick come in here, specifically Broderick come in here, and go ahead and show him that, okay, if that's what 30 starts look like, let me show you what a first rounder looks like that can give you that, but this as well. That's kind of how I look at this thing, man.
That's what's weird about this, though, is like, all right, if we're going to rock with Dan Moore as LT1 on the depth chart heading into the offseason, what does that mean for Broderick and his potential move over to the left side and the development we probably got to go through with him?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to start the offseason with him over on the right side taking snaps there when you know that's not his future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after drafting Fautano.
All right. But if there's a scenario where you don't want to throw the young guy out there too soon, this is your option. But this is what we kind of said, even if Fautano was playing guard. We said, man, you could still come out here and have both tackles where they were last year and still feel fine. So for them, they could also internally be just saying, yo, do we want to necessarily say we want 2 young guys starting out here? Or do we want to have this guy on paper starting, this guy starting? And now we'll see what the young rookie looks like before we just hard put him in there. For me, I'm like, bro, young boys, let them learn. You drafted them early. It's the trenches. Trenches, that's the one where you're going to have them growing pains. But at the same time, once it gets set, it's set. So I'm like, yo, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get that part rolling. I don't like the fact that we be having 2 rookies out there. But it's like, yo, we hey, we ain't gotta wait a long time with that, man. Like them dudes, you need them out there.
Oh yeah.